He was 11 years old, bright-eyed, ambitious, dreaming of playing soccer in Spain. But on a quiet May afternoon in 2025, Jayden Lee Meek vanished. The next morning, his lifeless body was found mere meters from his home. What happened behind the closed doors of a suburban Johannesburg flat would ignite a national outcry and point the finger at the one person meant to protect him, his own mother. On May 13, 2025, Jayden Lee Meek was dropped off after school by Scholar Transport like any other day in Fleurhof, a residential area in South Africa. But this time, he never made it to his front door, or so it seemed at first. That evening, his mother, Tiffany Nicole Meek, phoned the police. Her son, she claimed, was missing. She said he'd never come home. But police weren't convinced. And less than 24 hours later, neither was the nation. At 6:30 the next morning, May 14th, Jayden's body was found on a cold concrete stairwell approximately 8 to 10 meters from his flat, naked, bruised, and only steps from the family's flat. A child who was supposedly missing somehow never left the complex. Police launched a full-scale investigation. But what they discovered inside the apartment and on Jayden's mother's own clothing would soon unravel her version of events. Inside Tiffany Meek's apartment, Jayden's own mother, police brought in a sniffer dog. It zeroed in on a pillow stained with blood. That stain matched Jayden's DNA. The autopsy would later confirm that Jayden died from blunt force trauma to the head. He didn't collapse outside. He was killed inside the flat. But the most damning detail? Witnesses saw Tiffany Meek return to the apartment during the early hours on May 14th, long before she claimed she'd been back. Security guard logs also contradicted her statement about her return time to the flat. She claimed she went back only to change clothes before going to the police station, but records show she returned early on the morning of May 14th, a detail she omitted. And the stairwell? It had been cleaned the night before. By morning, it held her son's body. Tiffany Meek was arrested and charged with murder, defeating the ends of justice, crime and injuria for falsely accusing the Scholar Transport driver, and obstructing justice by allegedly placing Jayden's body outside. Prosecutors say Meek staged her son's disappearance. She claimed he was abducted then, planted his body on a public stairwell, but her lies couldn't outpace forensic evidence. In July 2025, the courtroom was packed. The country watched in horror. Tiffany, sobbing through proceedings, maintained her innocence. But the magistrate was unmoved. In a searing rebuke, he called her story dubious and disingenuous. He cited her contradictions, her attempt to mislead officers, and the blood evidence. Tiffany Meek applied for bail. The state opposed her release, arguing that she posed a flight risk and had no fixed address. She was also planning to relocate to another province and could influence witnesses or destroy evidence. The magistrate repeatedly noted her ability to mislead the court and stage evidence, concluding that public confidence and justice would be compromised if she were released. On 29 July 2025, bail was denied. Magistrate Annalene Africa ruled that due to the weight of circumstantial evidence and glaring contradictions, releasing Meek could threaten justice and spark public unrest. Tiffany Meek was remanded in custody and could face life in prison if convicted. To this day, Tiffany Meek insists she didn't kill her son, but investigators believe there may have been a buildup, a history of abuse, perhaps hidden from view. Jayden's dreams were simple: to become a footballer. His family described him as gentle, shy, and smart. What happened inside that apartment, and why remains a haunting mystery. The case returns to court on September 17, 2025. Will justice be served? Or will Jayden's voice be lost beneath the weight of denial and deception? For now, a child is gone. A community is grieving, and a mother stands accused.